Belle Delphine is back, baby. And we also have a teaser of Justice League from Zack Snyder. Hello and welcome back to the Tyler G Show. However you are consuming this, whether you're watching or listening, thanks for joining me. And right off the bat, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsors of the show. For without them, we really wouldn't have too much to talk about. But first, I'd like to thank Zavvi, Z-A-V-V-I, Zavvi UK. I'll have a link below in the description box. I'll have a link below to every one of these sponsors below. And also, if I mention any profiles or anyone else on Instagram as a source or anything, they'll be down there. So, thanks to Zavvi again. If you go check out Zavvi and use my code Tyler20, you get 20% off of all clothes. And if you use Tyler10, you get 10% off store-wide. And Zavvi has an incredible selection, an incredible amount of stuff. Like probably one of the best online stores all the way around in terms of people that love nerd culture, pop culture. So go check them out. Big thank you to Skillshare. Skillshare is an amazing resource. And I'm giving you 2 free months where you can literally learn anything you want. You want to become a social media person, you want to learn how to do Instagram, you want to do photography, anything else. You want to learn how to be better at visual storytelling with your pictures. You want to learn better lighting, anything. They got those videos up there, and I'm giving you 2 free months. Just set a reminder on your calendar to cancel it before it's up if you don't want to continue paying for it. But I'll have the link below. 2 free months. It's nice. After that, big thank you to Big Bad Toy Store, online toy store. I'll have their Instagram link below, and they have everything toy-wise. And the best part about Big Bad Toy Store is you can pre-order stuff, and you don't have to worry about going to the store and seeing that they don't have it, because usually if they have it up to buy, you're gonna get it. So check them out. Numbskull Designs. They have a lot of cool stuff. I've done a few pictures of their cosplaying ducks. We'll have a link below to them. Dioramaprints, one of the newest diorama companies in terms of toy photography and just anything like that for dioramas, whatever your taste is. I've seen people use pops for them as well, and they look pretty cool. And they're about to go have their store completely open within, I think, the next month. So a lot of cool things coming from them. Readysetz, I've done tons of pictures with them, and they're not only one of the coolest diorama companies with the amount of basically rooms you get with one diorama, but the way they fold up, how quickly they assemble and disassemble, it's an amazing feat of technology. Undone Watches, they have a DC line where they have Batman, and pretty soon they're going to have a whole array of DC heroes, I'm assuming. And they have their high quality watches that they have like subtle Batman stuff. Like they have one that just looks like a regular watch, but if you look, it says stuff like Wayne Enterprises and that sort of thing. So not only do they look nice, but they're decently priced when it comes to watches for the quality. Anchor, that's this is like the best for podcasts. If you want to get into doing your own podcast, use Anchor.fm, the app, and you could upload today. Upon hearing this, you could upload your own podcast a day and be making money if anyone listens, which, that's up to you, your content. If it's good stuff, people will listen, and you'll be getting paid. And not only do they pay you right off the bat, but they distribute your podcast to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iHeart, I don't even know what I said there, Podbean, any of those streaming services, they're basically all on there. So Anchor has been a huge tool in helping me do this and do it in a quick manner where I could do it on a regular basis and not go crazy editing and trying to get it all set up everywhere. So, all right, we're done with sponsors. Let's get on to the new stuff. All right, new toy news this week. It's not too much going on. Not too much, at least from last week, but there are some stuff. One of the biggest things I saw recently that it looks cool, but you also wonder just why. But that's also, I'm not a big fan of this character. But Marvel Legends released a Deadpool like premium interacting decapitated head, where it has like over 100 and something phrases and all that. I mean, I guess I could see it being cool if you're a big fan. But it'll be interesting to see how many people even get it. I just want to see what the litmus test is, the market for a decapitated Deadpool head that talks. That'll be interesting. Another big one that we're seeing is a Super 7 Conan the Barbarian with the Arnold likeness. Those figures are, I think, up for pre-order now at Big Bad Toy Store. Christopher Reeve Superman. If you weren't able to get it on Mezco, on their main site, I think it's still available on Big Bad Toy Store. So you could snatch that up. Also, they have the Spider-Man SH Figure Arts 2018 game, the anti-ox suit, where he armors up in the black and yellow. SH Figure Arts usually does really good work, so that'll be cool to see. Looking forward to those pictures. I won't get the figure, but I'll enjoy the pictures. They have they're released for pre-order the Brie Larson Captain Marvel Hot Toys. They got more SH Figure Arts Mandalorian stuff up. So if you don't want to go Hasbro route, they still have the Figure Arts Mandalorian up. And they also showed, Hasbro did the Beskar armor all silver Mandalorian, and I definitely got to get the Carbonite version. That would look so nice with that armor for that figure. So that'll be cool. They also have a Power Ranger Megazord statue up. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, not too much outside of what we discussed last week. They still have the 2-pack Green Ranger and the putty if you haven't gotten that. We got a few more Black Series stuff for Star Wars. But other than that, the McFarlane, again, I have not seen anything new. Even when I'm hunting, I still haven't seen another, at least restock of the Joker and the Arkham game Joker and Batman, outside of the one time I saw it when I was able to get it. So hopefully we'll start seeing a good flow of McFarlane figures hitting the store soon. I haven't been to GameStop recently, but I know that they just opened up. Might have to go tonight, see what's going on there. And in terms of getting my any new figures that I myself have obtained, I'm still waiting. I put a pre-order in a while ago when they showed the SH Figure Arts Batman '89 figure, the Michael Keaton one, and it says it's coming around June, July, so hopefully they'll be shipping those out soon. And outside of that, I know that the White Knight Batman and Joker are set to come out in July, around the 13th. But who knows how everything went and what distribution is like now. So in terms of new figure news and figures in general, that's really all I got for right now. But we do have a lot of media stuff to talk about. And just this morning, Zack Snyder released his first teaser for his version of Justice League. That's going to be on HBO. I think it's Max. Yeah, I think that's HBO Max. I just had a blank out there because I know they have like HBO Go, then the HBO app, and they just have all those subsets of HBO. So HBO Max. And the first teaser shows Wonder Woman. Looks like she's doing some, like, almost some Indiana Jones stuff, but she's dressed all nice. She finds some cave markings of Darkseid, and we also see a quick, like, zooming shot, but still at a far enough distance where we don't get any kind of actual look at Darkseid of what was the part in the movie where Steppenwolf comes back, where it's the flashback where he kills the Green Lantern, where it shows who was actually supposed to be there, and it shows Darkseid. So it got people pumped, and I'm really excited after seeing that, especially just seeing such a nice clear look at Darkseid, even just on the cave writing, or I don't know if it's supposed to be hieroglyphics or cave writing or whatever it's supposed to be. It was cool seeing Darkseid in a Justice League film and not Steppenwolf. So it was cool and all, but he's not Darkseid. And also after watching that, it just made me really, when I was hearing news about the Robert Pattinson Batman, I'm starting to just really care less about that Batman. And maybe that's good, but I want to be kind of hyped for it. The news coming out from that is Catwoman. She's gonna have apparently various different little wardrobe add-ons and takeaways throughout. Maybe she'll completely switch different cat suits. They said she might be wearing different wigs, which I think that's cool. I like that. That makes sense to me, and that's something that hasn't been done before. So that's Matt Reeves actually doing something new and original. That's nice. And then she also talked about how it was cool seeing Robert Pattinson in the bat suit and all that. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you're making $1 million movie. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he looks awesome in the Batman suit. In terms of Robert Pattinson, I mean, after what he did last time, and I know we talked about it on here, where he just was being flippant with his comments and not really realizing the domino effect that could have on the production as a whole, and the outcome of what people will do in making up their minds and turning out to the movie on opening weekend, and what it will do to the opening weekend box office draw and all of that. I kind of just don't want to hear anything else. I hope he just stays silent. Batman's a mysterious character. He works in the shadows. Just work in the shadows, Robert. Don't try to hype yourself up anymore. Or even if you're joking about, I'm not working out, just don't even joke. Batman doesn't joke. Just keep to yourself. Other media news, San Diego Comic-Con, because of the, I don't know if you've heard about COVID-19, but because of that, they're going to just do online only, which, I mean, for the majority of this, who wants to go to a room that's going to be packed and hot as crap in San Diego just to stand in line and have people try to sell you things, or show you things that you can't even buy yet because they're coming out later? So, I mean, it's not that bad checking out. I mean, I feel bad for the people that go and we get to just reap the benefits and look at all that cool stuff. But I mean, if they enjoy it, good for them. But anytime you ask someone how was Comic-Con, they always just say it was miserable and they're tired. So, I mean, celebrating online is the best. Just watching anyway. And then after that, DC's going to have their own thing, DC Fandom. They just announced recently on August 22nd, which is going to be online. And Zack Snyder's already confirmed that he's going to be there. So that'll be something. I'm looking forward to see what will be shown at DC Fandom. The biggest thing I'm hoping for, and the thing that makes most sense, especially because PS5 was just revealed, and if you haven't seen the PS5 memes, go check out PS5 memes because they're hilarious, just making fun of the design. However, PS5 is due out later this year, and we've been hearing rumblings the last 2, or even all the way back to 3 years ago. We've been hearing rumblings of a new Arkham game for Batman. So I'm hoping at this DC Fandom, the one thing I'm really hoping for, because we already got announced, the one thing fans have wanted outside of a Batman video game is seeing Zack Snyder's vision of Justice League. We already got that. It's confirmed. So the next big thing, I mean, outside of like a Batman trailer for the new movie, or a full-length Zack Snyder trailer, is to see if we're going to get a new Batman Arkham Asylum universe game, and if the old standards of Hamill and Conroy will be voicing. I don't know if they could squeeze in another way to find Joker in there. It just depends on the continuity and all that, but if it makes money, I'm sure they'll find a way. So that's all the news in terms of media and that's coming up. And then in terms of what I watched on DC Media, Harley Quinn, A Fight Worth Fighting For was the title of the latest episode, and it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. Previously we saw that Joker had been almost like amnesia, and for 6 months he was living as like a stepdad and being a suburban dad and wearing khakis with a phone strapped to his belt, and it was hilarious seeing that. But when he got brought back to life, seeing how he reacted to that, and then seeing his actual feelings toward the family in the end, and I saw a couple like clickbaity articles where people like, did Harley Quinn just write the most interesting version of Joker ever? No, that's definitely not the most interesting version of the Joker, because first of all, it's not even the essence of Joker. The fact that, like, when you think of Joker, you don't think of anything to do with family. So I think they just took a character and challenged him and put him in a different scenario than what we're used to, but I don't think it's the most interesting version. It's for comedy's sakes and for just challenging the character and seeing him in a different light and that sort of thing. It is interesting, but it's not the most interesting. I think Joaquin and Heath did a little better and added their own take to that sort of thing, but it was fun. It was funny, and I like that they're doing their own thing, and I really do like the way the stories are going. So at least it's entertaining, and at least it's not PC. I think that's the best thing. It's not PC. Thank goodness. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend watching Harley Quinn, and you won't enjoy the first few episodes. I didn't. I felt like my ears got calloused over from hearing all the F-bombs, but it smoothed out, and they got their it's like The Office. No one likes the first season of The Office, but it picks up after that. Now, we also saw Doom Patrol. I saw that Doom Patrol is coming back soon. I really like the promo image where they had like a Wizard of Oz thing going. Pretty cool. And that was I know that a lot of people consider that one of their best shows, the Doom Patrol. And then I did watch the newest Stargirl, and I'm all caught up on Stargirl. And it's just it's getting hard to watch because it's like very formulaic, and it's all, not only formulaic and very like teen drama, but with superheroes. It's also, it just feels like it's aimed not towards me. That's all. So it's nothing I can outrightly say it's horrible. In fact, I really like seeing the Justice League Society. Is that what Justice League Society or Association? JLA. I like seeing Stargirl. I like seeing Wildcat and Our Man. That's cool and all, but it's almost like Riverdale, but Justice League Association, if that makes sense. So it's just nothing bad, just not for me. So it'd be interesting to hear what you guys think about it. Cool. I do think the best thing about the show is that it is one of the better special effects. Like, they make sure that staff looks dope and has cool effect looks out, because if you look at even Titans, where Beast Boy turns into a tiger, it is awful. It's so bad. And even Crypto, the super dog, I think that's his name. I always question myself once I'm on camera because I don't want to look like an idiot, you know. But yeah, even that, the effects for the super dog weren't that good. They looked like clay. So I was worried about how they're gonna make the effects look, but everything about the show is solid. It's just not for me. I'll still watch it because I spent $70 on the app for a year, so gotta get my money's worth. Okay, now we're going to go forth. I'm not gonna do a wave review for the animated series this week, just because I have a lot to cover, but also because they went like months without releasing another figure, so I feel like that's a symbolic showing, like, hey, yeah, you didn't release figures for months, I'll skip a week. However, we also have the rest of the time to go over the BTAS reviews, or at least until the world completely goes to crap from the virus and everything else. But we got plenty of time to talk about all those figures. I think next week we'll do the Batman Expressions pack, and also another, we'll see. But last week on the Batman animated series episode review, we covered Demon's Quest Part 1, and where we left off, Ra's al Ghul had just emerged from the Lazarus pit. He was just about to, he had his daughter over his head, and then we cut. And then in this one, Part 2, we pick up right where we left off, and Ra's is about to, well, he's dangerously close to throwing Talia into the Lazarus pit, and Ubu explains to Batman, you know, for the dying it can restore life, but for those that are already healthy it kills them. And Batman's like, I get it, you don't have to explain it to me, which I always think is hilarious. And after what they save Talia, and Ra's after a while starts to settle down and gets to his right mind. And once he's in his right mind, he explains, that the Lazarus pit, even though it restores and heals you, it can make your mind temporarily insane. And again, he asks Batman, even though that has restoring powers, you can't just use it forever. Eventually, I'm going to die. So will you take my place as like the head of the League of Shadows? And again, Batman says, nah, I can't do it. So Raz leaves, and he purposely leaves Robin and Batman in the cave and tries to start, well, he doesn't try, he does start the whole thing crumbling in on itself. Batman and Robin have to escape, and they end up sliding down these mountains in the snow to avoid an avalanche. And from there, Batman asks Robin, like, where do we go from here? You had to have heard something those weeks that you were a hostage. So Robin's like, yeah, I did hear this. And talk about Orpheus, which they look up, and it's a satellite which is going over the Sahara Desert, so Batman knows to head there. So they get in a plane, Robin flies Batman over, he parachutes down in to where a little bit outside of where Ra's al Ghul's little base is set up. He knocks out a guard, steals his outfit, and goes in, and it's not long before he's eventually discovered anyway. And Ra's al Ghul is again impressed that Batman showed up. He's like, so you just continue to prove me right that you are worthy to take over my role. And then he says, well, since you don't want to, I'm just gonna have to keep you here until the big event in which I take over. And so after that, Batman though they try to contain him in a jail, but it's not long before he picks the lock from having a piece of wire in his mouth. He knocks out the guards, and again he's out. And from there, I just lost myself. Robin overheard something. Oh, Ra's al Ghul tells him his plan. About how there's Lazarus pits all over the world, and what he's going to do is drop bombs into them simultaneously and use the satellite Orpheus to make sure that they all go off at the same time, which would create a mass chemical reaction which would cause the Lazarus pits to just start shooting out and overflowing. And like Ubu pointed out early in the episode, all the healthy will die, and Batman is like completely shocked and says, but that will kill countless people. And Ra's al Ghul cold-heartedly is like, oh, it's not countless, we count it, it's 2 billion, and then he says the exact number. I just put over 2 billion, but that is a lot of people. And so from there, well, that was before Batman got taken to the tower, but he easily handles the guards. He comes forth to confront Ra's al Ghul right before he's about to drop the bombs in. Ubu makes a feeble attempt to take on Batman, calls him infidel, and Batman says, I am completely tired of that. You've been calling me that for both these two parts. And he knocks him out, throwing him against some metal machine. And then Ra's al Ghul just sitting there taunting him and says, let's see if you're man enough to take on your better. They have an epic battle with their shirts off, their sword fighting. And in the end, Batman, he is able to destroy the satellite by throwing his sword at the machine, just causing it to override and blow up, as cartoon computers do. And then he goes back to fighting Ra's al Ghul, and he is about to fall off the cliff which they're standing on and fall into the Lazarus pit. Batman tries to help him, but Ra's al Ghul refuses and says, you won, so I am defeated, let me die, and he just lets himself fall in. And he falls in very similar to how we always see Joker fall into the vat at Ace Chemicals. And I was just sitting there wondering, like, how many times has Batman had to see someone descend into a vat of green liquid? It seems to always happen to him. And then also, I feel like this is very fitting that we'd be covering these episodes at this time because Denny O'Neil, let's make sure I say it right. Yeah, Dennis O'Neil. He recently just passed away, and he's the one that he did the original comic and the art and a lot of the famous scenes that Bruce Timm and the Batman animated series crew homage, like the sword fighting Ra's al Ghul with the shirt off. That's a famous Dennis O'Neil comic reference, as well as kissing Talia with the shirt off with the sunset. So thank you, Dennis O'Neil, for that, inspiring Bruce Timm, allowing us to see that and learn to love Batman, and from there discover great work in back catalogs and that sort of stuff. So hope you're resting well, Dennis. Your work has made you immortal, whether you know it or not. Now, that's it for Demon Quest Part 2. Now we're going to talk about Batman: The Adventures Continue. We've had two comics come out, or in digital form. I didn't cover it last week, and it's because of this. It's because 2 digital comics equals 1 physical comic. They're like half pages. So I figure this way I could cover 5 and 6 of the digital comics, and it's basically going to be 1 issue of a whole comic if you went and bought it in the physical form. So, where we left last off, Tim Drake had disobeyed Batman's order of curfew. Him and Deathstroke went into, I think it was Gotham's museum, it seemed like it, and they went to take on Firefly. Firefly showed up, and we saw what seemed at the very end of issue 4, it looked like they were engulfed in flames, and Firefly was shooting these flames out of his mouth, which he looked like Ultron. And also, if you're a physical body in something, how are you shooting flames out of your face without just being hot? Doesn't make sense. And he kind of hinted that maybe he sold his soul to a demon and that sort of thing. It's like, okay, theatricality and deception. But we start off here where Robin and Deathstroke are running from Firefly, and Robin's talking to himself in his internal monologue saying, I could have been at home, not even supposed to be here. And from there we see that Robin, he's trying to avoid getting burnt up, but it looks like he's pretty out of his depth, and he's just talking about how hot it is. And Deathstroke finally starts to do some stuff to take on Firefly, but Batman shows up, easily takes him down, or is about to take him down, and Firefly disappears and takes off, just runs. So after that, Batman basically says, like, what are you doing? I don't trust you, to stop being around like my sidekicks, my kids. And then he's just, well, I want to help. I want to show you that I'm trustworthy. It's just your kids are easier to talk to than you are. Well, yeah, because he's Batman. But Batman basically lets it know that he does not trust Slade and just doesn't want him around. So after that, the next scene we're taken to Wayne Manor, and we get to see the Batcave where Batman is looking at the shadowy pics of the guy that's been stalking him throughout the first couple of issues, the first 4 or 5, which we know to be Jason Todd. But he's looking at the figure, and they're looking at this thing where it looks, this picture where it seems he's flying, and they're wondering how is he doing that. But Batman is able to see that he has a thin wire there, and he remarks about the strength of the wire, and instantly I'm drawing parallels to the animated Red Hood movie, where they talk about how the Red Hood was able to cut the line before it went taut, and they talk about his skill and that sort of thing on the Batcomputer. So I like that. I like that parallel of the animated Under the Red Hood with this. And so after that scene, we go back to, we see Sunny, who's Slade. I finally learned her name. Sunny is the girl that we first saw where Slade was like working out and doing all this training stuff and cutting things with a sword, just practicing. When we see that she, who we know to be pretending to be Firefly. We see that she's upset that Batman's not dead yet, and he's like talking about how they got to take their time. And we also see that her suit's all jacked up from the fight. And then he's like, yeah, well, I gotta take my time on this. And then she says, well, tell that to him. And then we see Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor's like, why are you taking so long? I want this person dead. I want Batman dead. And Slade's basically like, look, it's taking everything I have to keep this charade up. It's like, with Batman, preparation is key. That's his one, is that his actual quote? Yeah, with the Dark Knight, preparation is everything. I wrote down the quote. And so I like that in recent media, especially Batwoman, everyone's tried to make Batman look like a piece of crap, and also like just weak in general. So the fact that Deathstroke, who is supposed to be this master assassin, is saying it's taking everything mentally and physically just to build any kind of trust with Batman, and just to not blow the whole thing. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Paul Dini. Oh. But after that, Slade basically tells Lex that he will kill Batman within 24 hours. And then they hang up, and Sonny says 24 hours, and Deathstroke says, yeah, so you better fix up your suit. And then after that, we see a surprised look of Jason Todd, like he's surprised that they're gonna go try to kill Batman right away. And then we go what is online as issue 6. We are back to Slade telling that Firefly, telling that Sonny better be ready to go and take on the Bat. And then from there we get another nice scene of the Bat family eating and conversing. And I always enjoy those little moments like that, where even in movies where things just take their time and they breathe, so as to say. And then we basically see that Tim is upset that he's still grounded because he didn't listen, and Alfred also notices that the bat signal has gone up, and he says, oh, this is early, it's not barely dusk. So Batman heads over to the bat signal. He sees that it's Slade, and that he's gassed and knocked out the entire GCPD because he turned on the light and they weren't too happy. But Deathstroke basically saying he wants to take on Firefly with Batman. And then from there we see Barbara talking with Tim, and Barbara's at the library, and we see Tim's at the Batcave, and they're just talking on their comms. And Tim's like saying to Barbara, I can't believe Bruce turned off his comm. This has been years since he's done that. And then she says years, and he's like, oh yeah, it hasn't even been a whole year yet. So we get a continuity clue on where this is taking place and exactly how long Tim's been Robin. And then also we see that while they're talking about this, Barbara notices a little note in a book saying, it's a trap. Very Star Wars reference. And then we get taken after that to see Batman defeats Firefly, and with some cooling gel, some freezing gel. But that's when Deathstroke, of course, makes his turn as a heel and is about to kill Batman. I believe that's where we left off. So that is and he also talks about he has the Hephaestus sword, which we get to see a lot of the Hephaestus sword. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but Deathstroke has this crazy sword, and he says that just by being in the vicinity of the sword, it's the way it vibrates can like cut the air, or cut you from a distance. I don't know. Alright, I believe that's how it ended. So Deathstroke basically makes it known that he's a bad guy. He uses his Hephaestus sword to cut Batman in the back pretty badly. At which, in this point, I was thinking, is this how they're gonna make him disabled and keep him from fighting in order to have Azrael show up, but after that we see Batgirl knocks him out with the fire extinguisher, and then Batman extinguishes Deathstroke. We get taken back to the Batcave where they're doing some testing on the note that said it's a trap, but the only fingerprints on the note were from Barbara, and Batman basically says, this must mean that he knows who I am, he's been tracking our every move, and we see Jason Todd at the end smiling as the Red Hood, or at least he's got his little domino mask on. But that's the end of that. That's the end of the digital issues 5 and 6. And I know, like I said, the physical forms are just going to combine 2 digital releases into one. But so far, so outstanding. They continue to knock it out of the park. I like that they're doing little continuity hints, and I'm not going to be getting too in depth on these and going into Easter eggs and all that, just because I have a lot to cover. But there are channels that do on YouTube that do nothing but look into all the Easter eggs and all that, so you should definitely check those out. Now, in terms of figure of the week, I'm going to do Killer Croc from Suicide Squad. It is a Mattel figure, and this, I would not have been able to acquire it if it wasn't for the kindness of human beings. I had a few of the pieces, and I put a story post out that I was looking and willing to pay to get the rest of the parts that I needed, and some kind human reached out and said, don't worry about it, I have the parts already, I'll just send them to you. And so because of kindness, I have what at the time was hard to acquire, not only because the figures they were hard to find due to Mattel's distribution, but also hard to get because who wants to buy? If you look at the Mattel Suicide Squad figures, the Harley Quinn was atrocious. No one wants to buy a Captain Boomerang. He was barely in the movie. So that's my figure of the week. As a reminder that people can be kind. The how-to this week is not going to be, I did the Diorama print one, I think that was last week. I believe so. I don't know, time's running together now. But the how-to this week is, it's not anything in terms of like where I'm going to show you any, like, lighting or anything like that, but I feel like the how-to this week should just be, remember to, if you are enjoying what you're doing, believe in what you're doing and keep doing it. Even though some days feel harder than others, or you might not feel as motivated, just force yourself to do it. And because I know sometimes I wake up and I'm like, man, I don't want to have to be creative or try to think of something. And then once I'm able to push myself and do it, after I'm done, I think and look back at it and like, what, I'm really glad that I forced myself to do that. And sometimes it causes some great art that I maybe never would have done usually or never would have thought of. Or sometimes it just produces something mediocre and helps me think of more ideas and gets the brain going. It's like a little jump start. So if you have in those days where you're struggling creatively, if you're having days where you struggle saying the word creatively, just trudge through. Just try. I know that sounds weird or almost bad to say, like, if you're feeling that creative, just try to be anyway. But like, it really does. I could be sitting there doing like a setup and like, maybe this would be cooler, and then it's like, oh yeah, that would be cool. And if I add this, and it becomes like a snowball effect, and it leads to a creative idea. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people with the things in the world that are going on, maybe they're not feeling as motivated, or they're thinking, is what I'm doing even important? Or should I be doing what I'm doing? For mental health reasons, probably. You probably should try to do some creative outlet, or trying to keep some kind of normalcy in a world that is continuing to change daily. It could be therapeutic. I know a lot of people use this as therapy to just take their mind off things and have some fun posing a figure and getting involved in a diorama setup and creating the story. So that's the how-to this week. Just stay motivated. And another thing, and I've had 2 people reach out this week, and it's weird how that it always seems to happen when I've been, because just early, I would say earlier or toward the end of the last week, I was just like in a lot of pain, just not feeling that motivated. I know you don't want to hear it, whatever, but like I'm not gonna. But because of the kindness of 2 people saying, "Hey, I just want to let you know I've been, listening to the show and I really enjoy it and keep doing what you're doing." That's it. It's like, oh, you listen to the show and you're enjoying it. It'll motivate you. So if you're thinking like, oh, I really enjoy what this person's doing, and I'm not even saying me. You enjoy anyone's work, and you think that they deserve a compliment, give it to them, because you don't know what they're going through. They could be thinking terrible thoughts. They could be like, man, should I quit? What is this even for? And if you're like, hey, I really enjoy your work, it really helps me get through my day, that can mean a lot. I'm not talking about myself necessarily. I'm not saying that hasn't been the case, but I'm saying if you ever get the inclination, just do it. If someone makes your day, hey, this is a great post. But I really don't. Yeah, you don't have to do it to me. I don't care. Now, I think that's it. Now we're gonna get to the fan art, and again, I think we got one more full week until I do a name draw to see who gets a free print for the fan art. All right, so let's switch over to that. All right, now we're at the fan art portion of the show, and this is the first picture that I was tagged in after last week's show. It's a really cool Batman figure. It looks like even almost a Batman Beyond style because the mouth's covered. Probably a variant of a Mattel or a basic Mattel line for the Dark Knight trilogy. Show picture. This is from D the Bat, a Batman Begins Movie Masters, Mattel. Toys of Arkham, showing off RoboCop, Punisher, and Judge Dredd. I am the law. Here we have Tom Hardy and the symbiote Venom. Can't wait for Venom 2. Very cool art by, it says created by, what is this? Is this a video? Oh, nice. Cool edit of some Jason Fabok art and others. Loser there. This is a Seon_collector with a awesome NECA Batman. I think this is part of the Predator one. And oh no, that came with the Joker Alien one. And this is of course, Aliens. I am the Toys of Arkham. This is from Pack Photos. Pair of Jokers, my 2 favorite Joker portrayals. Heath Ledger. This is a DC Multiverse signature from Mattel. And DC collectible / direct Mark Hamill Joker. This is a really good shot. And for those of you that know how big this Batwing is, the fact that he was able to get this all in the frame, or almost all, just barely a tip missing. But this is really good work, Photoshop wise, and just to get this all in the frame. So thank you to Batman_the_animated_series_. The Daily Batman, daily_Batman_ with a really cool sketch. Jason Momoa, Aquaman by Toys of Arkham. You hear the breathing, that's my cat. That's not me breathing that heavy. My cat's asleep. Here's a very cool shot by Batman_the_animated_series of Catwoman doing a flip. Man, he's killing it lately. Doing great work. cool custom of, I think, the Mystery Machine into the, or is this, oh, this is a, I think this is a, I don't know what this is. This is a Hot Wheel. This is a custom van. Oops. Wait. I'm going way back now. Okay, here we go. This is from DCAU Review, and they give them a little review on what they think of the Mondo news. The Mondo Mr. Freeze. Let's look through. There's Nora in the snow globe, or a representation of Nora. Very cool. Thank you, DCAU Review. And Mondo, even though you didn't send me nothing. Here's one of the 2-packs that we discussed not too long ago in review. The Mad Love 2-pack. You can see it comes with the comic. This is from Heroes for Breakfast. Jonathan Lobo Frederick. Awesome minimalist Batman portrait. Again, Jonathan Lobo Frederick with a Joker Batman, a la a Joker that, or Batman that smiles or laughs. Here's a tribute photo from a couple days ago because Batman Begins turned 15 years old. That's incredible. And this is a very famous shot near the end of the movie where he's trying to escape the police. He's got a sonar and bats helping him. This is a photo from, I took 4 toysnap.inc on my page and that he recently posted. And I'll make sure to put a link to his store where you can get these custom bins. Here's a big old crate. Here's a palette. Nice paint. They're well done. They don't feel like they'll break right away. The loser there. Here we got a nice little Batman Begins tribute post from v.good_bat_man. A few Funko Pops, little Dio rooftop scene. I think is this. I never owned the Mattel Batmobile, so I don't know if this is Mattel, but that looks like a Movie Masters. Nice statue. Here's a very nice shot and scene. Why'd you do it to me? Bullock, Commissioner Gordon, Bruce Wayne. With it. He's got his mask off. Here's one Puerto Rican picked by Maya Colon. She does great work, or I think it's a she, I don't know. Never shown the face. v.good_bat_man with a tribute to a 25-year anniversary of Batman Forever. Val Kilmer. Batman Who Laughs from I'm_toy dude. Nice little comic set up by Batman_the_animated_series. Comic cover of Batman and the Outsiders from DC Crown King _1234. An old school armored Batman from Wacko_figs from BVS. Brings back good memories. Funko Pop Grim Bat. Very nice painting. Or it looks like a painting. Of Bane versus the Bat. WMB cartoon. Here we got a comic story. Very nice. This is awesome work. Good visual storytelling. All right. That is the fan art portion of the show. Check back next week and we'll have, of course, a new episode.